Welcome to Learn English with Mirage.
Hello everyone, today I have an amazing story for you. It's not just for your listening practice, but also to inspire you. The story is called Nothing is Free. It's a chance to learn and grow stronger. Leo thought deeply about his father's words. He named it Leo's Fresh Bakes. Why don't you bake your own bread? When we barely have enough to survive. Return your money and keep a small profit. Mr. Anderson thought for a moment. He took a deep breath and began making a plan. Nothing is free, but everything is possible. He decided to start selling fresh bread locally. Leo replied firmly. Cleaned houses to make ends meet. His father Mark was a mechanic. I won't give up. His mother Claire. But much of his equipment was damaged. But how do I start? But life wasn't easy for him. He wanted to own a chain of restaurants. Mark sighed and said, "And it will show you that hard work and determination." The next day, Leo shared his dreams with his father. By the end of the day, Leo was thrilled. "I want to give my family a better life. I will sell the bread." You kept your word. Leo, you are a true inspiration. After a long pause, Mr. Anderson said. They came to check on him. You won't buy from me anymore. But there was a problem. Leo's younger sister. Mr. Anderson, I want to sell your bread. Leo had no money to buy the bread. Sophie was just 10 and looked up to him as her hero. Mr. Anderson can change lives. You've shown us all that with determination. Quiet town surrounded by mountains. But I don't have money to buy it up front. Young man, he asked. 20 years old, living in a small, even if it's small, on the day of the grand reopening. The next day, Leo went back to the bakery. With confidence, Leo said, "Because I am determined." He decided to take a chance. And I will work hard to prove myself. His hands hurt from kneading. He noticed that in his town. People notice. He carried the bread back to his town. Don't bother coming here again. His family was amazed by his hard work. Early the next morning, he greeted every passerby with energy. And why should I trust you? Saying fresh bread. Warm and delicious. At first, people were hesitant. They didn't know if the bread was good, but Leo offered free samples. I've seen many young men give up when times get hard and welcoming. Every morning he woke up before sunrise. He returned to Mr. Every Anderson mistake and was teaching him something new. Come back tomorrow. Then an idea struck him. From then on, Leo worked tirelessly. He woke up at 4 a.m., walked to the bakery, carried bread to his town, and sold it with passion. After 2 months, he had saved enough money to buy a small transport more bread. One day, a customer suggested Leo, "You're good at selling, but if you bake." Leo had big dreams. You will make more profit. He had never baked anything in his life. This idea excited Leo, but it also scared him. This was the moment where Leo realized nothing is free. When the townspeople heard about the fire. Not growth if I want to succeed. One day, after ruining another batch of bread, Leo couldn't stop thinking about the idea of baking his own bread. If he could bake, he wouldn't have to rely on Mr. Anderson. His profit would grow. Why should I teach you if you bake? He didn't know how to bake. Leo decided to ask Mr. Anderson for help. The next morning, after delivering his payment, Leo said, "Mr. Anderson, can you teach me how to bake?" The old man frowned. "That's bad for my business. But there was one big problem." "All right, I'll give you bread for 1 week." Leo looked at him and said, "They said Leo's bread. But I won't forget the man who gave me my first chance." Then said, "And become a successful entrepreneur." But baking isn't easy. It takes patience and hard work if you're ready for that. I'll teach you. The lessons began early. The next morning, Leo arrived at the bakery at 3 o'clock a.m. Her words filled Leo with pride. How he started with nothing but a dream, Eric had a big. At first, Leo struggled. Don't stop chasing it, remember, and saw that a small fire had started. Leo sat down feeling defeated. They will support you he said to himself. It became a symbol of hope. Maybe I should give up. But then he remembered his father's words. Dreams are not free. Every challenge is just a step to something greater. Giving up was not an option. The old man nodded and said, with even more determination. Leo realized something important. He practiced every single step carefully. Slowly, his bread started improving. After 2 weeks, Mr. Anderson handed him a loaf and said, "This is perfect, Leo. You're ready." Leo was overjoyed. He calculated how much money he had saved. Sophie, his little sister. Everything must be earned with hard work. Helped him pack the bread, and his mother made tea for him while he worked late into the night. Soon Leo wasn't just selling bread. He started making cookies and pastries too. People in the town loved his products. Tastes better than anything we've had before. You're right. But success wasn't easy. One day, a new bakery opened in the town, run by a young man named Eric. Fancy shop with colorful signs and decorations. Knead the dough and people were curious and started buying from him instead. And a few offered their time. He felt scared. What if he lost everything he worked so hard for? He listened to his customers and asked, "What do you like about Eric's bakery?" By watching videos in the library. Some said Eric's shop looks clean and pretty. Others said his cakes have beautiful designs. Leo realized he needed to grow not just as a baker, but as a businessman. Using his savings, Leo painted his cart, added bright decorations, and started offering free samples of his new pastries. He even learned how to decorate cakes. Leo, you already know the answer. What can I do better? One evening, an elderly woman came to Leo and said, "But you didn't." And realized, that's why we trust you. Months passed and Leo's business grew. Cakes and pastries. He saved enough money to rent a small shop. It wasn't as big as Eric's. Baked fresh bread and opened his shop with a smile. He had sold all the bread and made a small profit. It wasn't enough to replace all the equipment. For a moment, fear crept in. His parents and sister helped him. Patience and persistence never let failure stop you. To customers, and Claire managed the accounts. But Leo knew this wasn't the end of his journey. He wanted to reach more people, make his family proud, and prove to himself that anything is possible. With hard work, Leo's bakery, Leo's Fresh Bakes, was becoming the heart of the town. People loved his fresh bread. Business was growing and his family was proud of him. Before the sun was up. But life wasn't done testing Leo. One stormy night, as Leo was closing his shop, he noticed smoke coming from the bakery. He rushed inside. Leo felt heartbroken, but if you fail to pay me back. The next morning, Leo sat outside his small house staring at the stars. Some said, "Not success, not knowledge." People loved fresh bread. Others whispered, "Maybe this is the end for him." What will Leo do now? He stood outside his bakery and said. He quickly grabbed water and managed to stop the flames. "This is just a challenge. I faced struggles before and I will face this too." Leo's bakery didn't just sell bread. One cold evening, he whispered to himself. He rented a small oven and began baking bread at home. And soon had his first customer. For 1 week? Mr. Anderson raised an eyebrow. Instead of sitting and worrying, Mr. Anderson showed him how to mix flour. Leo asked for help. He approached Mr. Anderson, who had retired, and said, "Sir, I need advice. What would you do if you were me? You've taught yourself that nothing is free." Mr. Anderson smiled and said, Slowly customers returned to him. He told his customers, "Believe in yourself and people will believe." Leo decided to rebuild. He didn't wait for someone to rescue him. Not love. With a little equipment he had left, "I won't let you down, I'll keep serving you. Work harder." The townspeople admired his courage. Even if it's just a small amount for now. Many of them started helping him. Some donated ingredients. Others gave small amounts of money to help him clean and repair the bakery. Leo noticed his sales dropping. When you work hard and never give up, Leo, they want to help someone who helps themselves. They require hard work and sacrifice. After months of hard work, I want to thank each one of you. It was better than ever. He painted the walls, added new decorations, and even introduced new items, like cupcakes and muffins. His customers were overjoyed. The town's mayor came and said, "Dreams are not free if you want something. You've taught me that nothing in life is free." There was a young man named Leo. Leo's family was struggling financially. But instead of panicking, Leo stood in front of the crowd and said, Leo reopened his bakery. Not success, not respect. People from other towns started visiting. He started baking at home again. You have to fight for it. Start with what you have. Sophie, now 11. He realized that. But Leo remembered his journey. Maybe I'm not good enough for this. To meet the young man who never gave up. Leo's story teaches us that 1. Dreams are not free. 2. Failure is not the end, but had to travel to a bakery far away. Never give up. Leo walked miles to meet Mr. Anderson. If I succeed, I'll make sure to help your bakery too. When people see your effort, I must take risks and learn. The darkest moments are often just Leo before didn't success. Just build a bakery. He built a life full of purpose, respect, and pride. And so can you, whatever your dream is. And his bread came out too hard or too soft. A grumpy old man who rarely trusted anyone.